Joe, why did the skeleton cross the street? What? No, I messed it up.
Did you now? Keep going.
Why?
We're losing light.
You need some water? Why didn't the skeleton cross the street?
Why didn't the skeleton cross the street?
He had no guts.
Hey-oh!
I could have gone with why didn't the skeleton go to the dance?
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance?
He had nobody to go with.
Yes! You are correct, sir.
Welcome to Carnival Personnel. I'm Jacques.
I'm Joe.
And we have a special guest, kind of special in the Jerry Kidd small bus way, all the way from Southern California. She just flew in Wednesday, and man, was that a long flight.
Hey-oh!
Our friend Renate. Say hello to the nice people.
Hello, nice people.
Now say hello to everybody else.
Now say hello to the
everyone
audience.
else. Hello, audience.
Well, basically, you say hello to Biff.
Hey, Biff.
As we were getting to Joe's humble abode, I was thinking, I really didn't remember that you guys have met. And I'm like, oh, wait, the whole time you were out in L.A., there's no way, year plus, that you didn't know Renate, that we didn't do something. And then I just realized you both were in my starter wedding. I know where everybody in this room was on April 22nd. Joe remembers April 22nd, 1999. We were in Selmar, California.
And man, did we do what Prince said in that song.
What was that?
Darling Nikki?
Something about a Corvette. Oh, no, wait. We partied like it was 19.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was hammered. That was crazy.
Yes.
Maybe
Oh,
not
yeah.
the best signs. I literally, that was one of those days where I can
I've never seen you like that
truly
before.
remember. Yeah. And she has seen me skate naked on the Selmar
Yes,
ice.
I have.
Like, because the Selmar rink just let us stay there. Like our friend Zach, I was going to say ran the place, but basically, yeah, lock up if you guys leave.
Yeah.
And we would sometimes bring barbecue, like little barbecue things, get off the ice at midnight and stay till 6 a.m. And it was more than one occasion you would look out there and there'd be some idiot, usually me, just skates, stick, gloves.
I don't think you
birthday
had
suit.
you
all
only
you
had
need.
gloves in yourself.
Yeah, and the skates.
And
of course.
skates,
Yeah,
of
seriously.
course, yeah.
But anyway, so Renate was in town. No special reason. Not like she's not going to add anything to podcast. It's like having another me, So she's here, and let's get right into it. Chris Evans is a fucking quitter.
It's so hard to say goodbye to Captain America.
Did you know this?
No.
Officially, he wrapped his shooting for Infinity Wars, or Avengers Part 4,
Right?
and tweeted out that this was a magical 8 years, and he loves everybody in front of and behind the camera, and that's it. So he's done playing
Wow.
Captain America.
But that was sort of known going into that he was done with his contract. What did you think, that he was going to magically extend because he was going to get thrown millions of dollars? What do you think? He's just a whore
much.
that
Excuse me.
dances for money?
Tens of millions of
Yeah.
dollars. Correction.
He's not your dancing monkey.
It's as our friend John C. Taylor would often say, it's not the money, it's the amount. But yeah, so I mean, it is. It's bittersweet. I guess it's time. It's ran its course. I mean, at this point, and depending on how closely it holds to the source material, Captain America has met his demise a couple ways before.
I guess. You tell me. Now, is it Falcon takes over as Captain America?
That's usually how the progression has gone.
Okay.
It's almost like a Batman thing. It's like the whole idea behind Batman. Because even talking about Marvel and Captain
Yeah.
America, it's going to come back to Batman.
Of course.
But the whole idea is Batman was a symbol. And there was a time when Dick Grayson was Batman. There was a time when, Alfred was Batman. There was a time when a guy named Azrael was Batman. We could go down the list. But that's the whole idea. And I think Captain America is bigger than Steve Rogers.
Well,
Was the idea.
right. Well, that's the whole premise, is that Steve Rogers was a little guy, and then
Right.
Captain America was bigger than him.
And just like Johnny Bravo, not the cartoon, but the character, the musician, the persona that Greg Brady took over. And why did he become Johnny Bravo?
He fit the suit.
There you go, baby. So every nerd out there was like, yeah, I get that reference. And most people over 40 is like, yeah, that sounds familiar. And everyone else is like, wow.
Doing something else because they're not
Why
listening.
am I listening to this?
Right. How did I pick up a shitty podcast on my phone? This is worse than a presidential tweet. Or alert.
Alert. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Crap. I almost had the line. God damn it. Go on.
Line. Your line, George. Your line.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you. Continue the podcast before I fall asleep.
It will never get old, by the way, you sidebar me. Big surprise. I don't know if you sent it to me or who sent it to me, but it was a screen grab of the presidential tweet. It's like, presidential alert. It's like the Falcons were up 28-3 with 6 minutes, 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in Super Bowl 51. And when I got that, I'm like, okay, I don't care who at Barstool sent this out. I am in love with that person. It will never get old. But yeah, what Renetsky, you're a big movie person. What are your thoughts on Chris Evans and Captain America? Where does he rank in your Avengers?
Well, actually, he doesn't rank as high as Thor for me, and also Iron Man.
Oh, so he's not in top. How about 3? Is he top 3?
I'd say he's probably the top 4.
So who would be 3?
He kind of looks wimpish to me, actually.
Even with the beard in the last one?
No, with the beard in the last one, that was the best one. He actually looked pretty hot in that. Yeah, I would say that's the best.
We're saying that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably his best. He doesn't look so boy-like.
But that's part of the the boyish charm and the innocence and stuff like that.
But I did like him in the last one. That was good.
I love the scene where Thor is there and you're like, oh, I see you.
Yeah.
Copy my beard. And
Yeah.
I see you got a haircut. You're like, well, what's good? It was just in the middle of this raging battle for the universe's, existence, and they're, lamenting over that.
That darn Marvel always yucking it up.
Yeah.
But are you sad to see him go, or is it time? What are your thoughts?
Kind of sad to see him go. I mean, yeah, a little bit.
And
Because he's been there for so long.
I mean, but now who else? Like, I knew that Helmsworth was out, and
Johnny Jr. Is he coming?
I think he
Is he
his
pulling?
contract
Or
was
is he
up
pulling?
too.
Is he pulling a Hugh Jackman where he's just going to continue playing? Well, no, Wolverine's done.
Wolverine's done.
Yeah. All right.
Oh. Helmsworth is out?
His contract is up. I don't
Oh.
know.
Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
Hemsworth.
Yeah, Hemsworth.
Hemley.
Hemsworth.
Headley. Yeah, the one that we all, not just you and management, we all lose it when he's shirtless.
Yes.
Yes. I lose my erection, but yeah.
How? But
I never had it to begin with.
joke's on you.
I'm impotent. Wait, hold on.
Hold on, which
There's a
one
thing
was that?
coming.
Yeah,
Wait a second. Whoa.
Wait.
No.
No, that's
No.
the right reaction.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So.
That's a. There we go.
So he's a quitter, and we'll move on from there. So I'm guessing if somebody actually dies in Avengers 4, if we're going to put that up.
My money's on him.
On another interesting or comic note, the DCU app launches Titans, the live action Titans, coming out this week, 13th.
That's the kind of R-rated new, like super mature adult venture,
Gritty.
and online only thing.
Yeah,
A subscription service.
And I got it. It was one of those things where it was $7.95 a month, or get it for the year for $79.
Right.
And where I know an Asian, I'm good at math. What?
In Asia.
Yeah. You're only
Think
good at Asian math. So.
About
Yeah.
all the Hungarian kids in Hungary, and you're just wasting this comedy. But yeah, I'm very excited. As are the boys. We will watch that together. It might be on the slight mature. Maybe it's I think it's PG-13 because there's no.
You're gonna wait till he turns 8 then?
He's 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's 8.
No waiting
You know,
now.
he's up there right now in his Robin outfit. There's no way I'm not going to let him see a live action Robin.
Right.
Right.
And again, we talked about the trailer's great where there's like, hey, that's not Batman. And it's, I think it's Tim Drake Robin. He's like, fuck Batman.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he whips out his cock.
What is wrong
I'm assuming.
with-
Well,
Yeah.
look, Batman comic did it. I assume. Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about that last week.
We'll not talk about
We
that.
will talk about that. Did you, Renate? Did you know that there was a Batman comic that had come out last month? Or that I guess it's part of like a graphic novel series, and apparently Batman is full frontal. There's like a shot.
Really?
Yeah, there's a
Wow.
shot of his batarang, as it were.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and I guess it made the rounds online, and I guess DC is now printing a second edition that removes it because it's kind of obscured. He's in like the shadows, and you can kind of see the outline of it.
Can you ever?
Yes, I could trace it by memory. Draw me like one of your bat penises.
Does it look like Toad from the Mario game?
No,
Okay,
it's more like Waluigi, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, so yeah, DCU app, you got your yearly subscription. There was no lifetime option.
Or there was not.
No.
But and there are, some of the unlike a Netflix, they're not dropping everything at once. They're going to release it one every week.
That's good. I kind of
wow.
I like that because there is that thing about spoilers, and everybody watches at their own pace now. And of course, the comic book community is humongous on spoilers and not revealing things. And it's kind of hard to have a discussion online, especially if everybody's on a different wavelength, if not everybody's on the same schedule. So it keeps it going. And I think it's a good thing.
It's also
Keeps you in suspense.
well, it's
Yeah.
also unlike Netflix where you're paying $8 a month and you have tens of thousands of hours of content. This is like, so okay, you log on and you binge watch, Battlestar Galactica, you still have everything up there. This, they don't want you to go on, but
Right.
let's say
Like Cobra Kai on.
like somebody would have maybe he would have. Did you cancel it?
Yeah, I did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
So Cobra Kai, it was Karate Kid.
Oh, yeah.
20 years later.
Yeah.
But they put them all out at once, and it was a subscription-based thing. But you got the first month free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you cancel before the
No, I
free
kept
month?
it going for a couple of months because I'm a sucker. Because I like the YouTube. It was part of the YouTube premium package where you could watch YouTube without ads, and I like
Oh.
to watch YouTube, a lot. But it was like $13 a month. It was like it was actually more than
Than
Netflix.
Netflix,
Yeah.
wow.
So, but I've canceled it. But you're right. That is the real reason why they don't want to put it out all at once. Is because you could just binge it and then
Right.
cancel.
I don't know if they're going to put all of their DC movies up there, but they have the only 3 Christopher Reeve Superman movies are up there because he only made 3. They made 3. They stopped after the one for Richard Pryor. All 3 are up there, but then all the other ones that, and then because I'm a dumbass, every time a new one comes out, whether even it's a crappy one like Batman Ninja, I bought it for $20. It's up there. Now, I don't know if it's like a Netflix thing where it might be up there for 6 months and then they'll take it down and put different ones up there.
It'll go back into the DC vault.
Right.
Exactly, like the Disney crap does. But it is. I mean, I did try. I'm like, oh, well, you can read comics on it. Really weird to read comics on a TV screen. I mean, it's like because you're sitting across the room and on the big TV, and it goes panel by panel.
Oh.
So it's not like you can scroll it up or left or right. It goes so.
There's
and
no single page option.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
turn the page for you.
Well, it does, but it goes again panel by panel. And in comic books, it's not like 6 square boxes on a panel, so it kind of jumps around the
Right.
screen, and it's kind of hard to track. Where
It's jarring.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's disorienting. It's not a very good comic book reading experience. I could see even like if they had like an option where if you log on your computer and you can like open like a PDF kind of document and then like, just turn the pages at your leisure, that would be a cool option. But I don't know if they do that.
I'll look again on the phone because I just tried to look on the TV the other
Yeah,
day.
you're right. Reading comics on TV is losers
But
Exactly.
like you.
but very excited about that. Anybody else got anything about comics? Real
I
good?
am fresh out.
Me too.
All right, so let's stop pretending. We right now, officially, as of I think 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today, we are now page 1, chapter 1, The Handmaid's Tale, for real. It begins official now.
Is this the prequel? No, this is the.
No,
actual-
I think we've
We've had
lived through the
prequels.
prequel.
Right.
This is it. This is page
po-
1, chapter 1.
after the Clone Wars.
Correct, right. But before,
Right.
you know, I've said it once. I've said it many times. I'm middle class. I'm white. I'm a dude. I think it's all going to work out for me.
Is that Jim Gaffigan over there? I can't see so good.
Everything in this country without a penis pretty much got fucked today. So there.
So nothing's changed.
Nothing's
Right.
changed. But now it's ramped up. And of course we're talking about like Mr.
Brett Kavanaugh.
The guy who likes
likes beer.
Yeah.
you like beer.
What do you? How many beers do you like? Imported or exported or domestic?
I will say that horrible press conference did lead to the best opening Saturday Night Live in maybe a few years.
Yeah, that wasn't a press conference. It was the confirmation hearing.
The confirmation hearing with Matt Damon. That was pretty.
That was pretty good. I watched that live, and it was spellbinding how good. Oh yeah, Matt Damon's a good actor, and
You forget, right.
and funny.
Yeah.
Now did that laughter overshadow the dystopian future we are now, the dystopian present we are now part of?
No, I think it accentuated it. It just basically it turned up the brightness level to 100. Like, this is it. Get ready,
Freaking
folks.
Alyssa Milano looking over my shoulder.
With the cardboard cutout. Yeah. I'm going to start at 11 and jack it up to a 15 real quick.
But yeah, and of course,
So speaking of women don't matter, let's not get Renate.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
We're talking
Enough about me. What
Yeah.
about you?
What about
do you
me?
think of
What do you think of me?
Exactly.
So I mean, So what do you think of? Have you been following the Brett Kavanaugh saga?
Yeah, I've been following it.
What do you think?
I think he's basically a piece of crap. Yeah.
That's pretty much our consensus. Welcome to the podcast. You're
Yeah.
one of us now.
All right.
Yay.
Cool. Yay. Yeah. No. Talk about liar.
Yeah, I mean, he's just not only a despicable human being, but just like a
Yeah.
bald-faced liar and shill.
You know, it sounds.
Right.
I don't want this to sound like the first part is going to, but I'm going to say, take away all of those allegations and all the testimony. Just take away that. The fact that he is so untrustworthy. I mean, when he's like, there was a count, like the number of times he perjured himself here,
Yeah.
and the number of times he perjured himself. I mean, just like when you said, he's a lying piece of crap that also sat there and spouted off, Clinton conspiracy theory, Alex Jones wingnut, and flat out said that he was going to get back at the Democrats for this. You're putting somebody in there. Now, openly said it. Wasn't like, oh, he was hurt. This is the same guy, when these confirmation hearings started, when the victim's father from Franklin Douglas,
Oh, you mean
Parkland,
Yeah.
tried to shake his hand.
Fred Gutenberg, I think.
Right.
His name?
And he looked at him and just turned and walked away.
Right as he was
Wow.
getting up, he was just sort of buttoning his
Yeah.
lapel or something.
And again, he was walked over by a senator. It wasn't like he was freaking Alyssa Milano
Right.
standing over his shoulder. Anyway, but
Yeah.
now
His credibility's
So,
been shot.
I don't think he's the man that got close to a Jew before. That's, I think, what's the
It's
problem.
probably
Yeah.
scared him.
Yeah,
Probably
I
scared
think,
him.
Yeah. I think his Judar went off.
So he, so Collins, the Senator Collins caved today, and people are kind of blaming her, and rightfully so. But then again, Jeff Flake had already come out and said, I mean, this is the guy who called for the investigation, and all week long, the entire investigation, all the lawyers and all the Democrats are saying, why aren't you talking to either her or him? Why aren't you talking to Ford? Why aren't you talking to Kavanaugh? They are the focus of this. And we've said it the last few weeks. One of them wanted the investigation. One of them didn't. One of them took a polygraph. One of them didn't. One of their lives is being ruined and turned upside down. One of them is being made Supreme Court justice for the next 50 years. But here's the thing. It wasn't just Collins who I tried to stomach listening to her press conference, but I couldn't get through the bullshit. But I just want to make sure I get his name right. Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, profile and pussy. He didn't come out and say he was voting for Kavanaugh until 10, 15 minutes after Collins, basically, by her swinging the vote, it didn't matter. He's a Democrat in a state that Trump won by over 20 points. And so he, to keep his own job, knows, well, I'm a Democrat in West Virginia. I better say Brett Kavanaugh's in. So whoever runs against me can't say he's anti-Trump. He's anti-Trump. He doesn't want the Kavanaugh thing.
So Joe Manchin, the Democratic senator from West Virginia, he just basically copied whatever Senator Collins said.
Correct.
So she had a Me Too moment.
She had a Me Too moment.
Me Too. These are the jokes, kids.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, so both sides have shitholes in it. But that's awful. But earlier in the week, it came out that George W. was making phone calls and personally lobbying the 4 on-the-fence senators. And over the last couple years, whether it's Will Ferrell coming out as George W. saying, you miss me now, because everybody thought he was the biggest piece of shit and worst president in our lifetime, fighting really hard for the top 3 worst presidents of all time. And, a war criminal, but where, the current, toad-shaped penis with toilet paper on the bottom of his foot.
Please stop referring to his penis.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
With a penis himself, the walking bag of douche, is so bad. Maybe it wasn't that bad. And then there was that moment that went around where he was giving candy to Michelle Obama at Joe McCain's funeral.
John McCain.
Yeah. And it looked
How
like
quickly we
and
forget.
they took a nice photo with the Obamas and the McCains and the Bushes. And it was, kind of a middle finger. Hey, we're not pals, but you're better than this guy, so let's take let's see what a tweet storm we can get him to go on. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, you know what? He's not that bad. And no, he's a piece of shit who is just as bad and is a war criminal. And I hope that this week of, when it came out that he was making phone calls on behalf of Kavanaugh. Anyways.
Have you seen, speaking of pieces of shit, have you seen the trailer for, I know you love to watch trailers. Have you seen the trailer for the new Dick Cheney movie called Vice?
Unbelievable.
No.
Have you heard of this? No.
I have heard of it.
Didn't I show you the picture?
Oh, yeah. I know.
I showed you the picture,
I've
right?
never seen the trailer, but it's phenomenal.
So you saw the picture of the guy
yeah,
playing.
he doesn't even look like him.
Did you know who it is?
I didn't know when Jacques showed me.
I told her.
had no clue.
It's Batman.
Dude, that's fucked
Yeah.
up. I told, she's like, that's not him. I'm like, look at his eyes. Thank you.
When I looked at his eyes, then I could see it. But at first, no, I couldn't recognize him.
And how great was Sam Rockwell as George W? I mean, it's an Adam McKay movie. It's like the Big Short. Have you seen The Big Short? It's a really depressing movie about the housing crisis.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It is pretty depressing.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
Yeah.
like it's another one of those political funny movies where it's going to be a bit tongue in cheek, but a bit over the head. Like, oh yeah, we're fucked. Then this is how we got
Right.
fucked. I mean,
But these guys who fucked you, don't worry. Everything worked out okay for them.
yeah, right. But no, that's. I guess that's. I don't know. I'm trying to find a silver lining in all of this.
There isn't one.
I'm trying to find a detour around the rickety stool and rope store that
The
I'm always going to.
absolute only hope, and truly the only hope, because now, even if Mueller comes out tomorrow and says this is how he violated the Monuments Clause. Here is him with his knee pads, negotiating with Putin. You go down the list. You just installed a Supreme Court justice who openly said, I'm going to get even with the Democrats, that this is all part of the Clinton conspiracy, and that presidents can't be indicted, and that they do have. I mean, that's why he was selected, because he told Blotus that, yes, he doesn't think that presidents should be investigated, indicted, subpoenaed, and that they do have ability to pardon themselves. I mean, he flat out has been honest and upfront about at least that and how much he likes beer.
That's the only thing he's been honest about.
No, there isn't. There is not a silver lining. That and Captain America is leaving us too, Joe.
Oh.
Good
night, everybody.
All right, well, you want to go further into the hellhole?
I don't.
We're only into the 5th layer of hell. We got a couple more to go.
We want to talk, and now I'm blanking on the dude's name.
Oh, good.
The head of Interpol is missing. And it's not a joke. This isn't a setup to...
He's really missing?
He's really missing. He went to China a week ago, and his wife hasn't heard from him. Nobody has seen him. And if you look it up, I'm dead serious. I was reading about that this afternoon. And I'm like, if he's missing, if Interpol can't find this guy, who does Interpol call?
Who watches The Watchmen?
Thank you. Get those meddling kids or something like that over to China. But seriously, he went over there, and finally after a week, his wife, he's based out of France. His wife has gone to the authorities. It's like nobody's seen or heard of him.
Is the head of Interpol Chinese? Oh no, he's
yeah.
He is Chinese.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, finding him one in a billion is kind of hard. It's like a Where's Waldo of all.
Finding a grain of rice.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, any more references?
Right. I'm just trying to, spice it up. Maybe throw in a little racism there.
I thought I was being racist enough.
Not enough.
Not
enough.
enough.
So I'm going to get in my rickshaw.
Okay. What was it called? What was it called?
The cereal?
Yeah, it was a rice flakes or something like that.
No, it was just the best.
Wow.
The absolute best. All right, now, and I mentioned it once already. Let's get into some happy awful. Toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe happens to everybody.
Yep. Even to the worst of us.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
And I guess somebody put it. It happened before, like a couple of years ago. There was a great meme that went around. So,
well, did you see do you know the President Show on Comedy Central where they make fun of Donald Trump? It was like a parody show where a guy who impersonates Donald Trump has his own TV show from the Oval Office.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. But
yeah, it was like it's a sketch. It was like a sketch comedy show. And they're coming back with a new special, but apparently, like last year when they were doing a bit, with the Trump impersonator, they had a shot of him walking down the hallway with toilet paper stuck to his shoe. And then, on Twitter, the guy who plays him, Anthony Antamanik, did a side-by-side, here's again the President Show predicting what the president actually did in real life. The side-by-side, here's me on TV, here's the goddamn president in real life.
Life imitating art, baby. Life imitating art. So that's good. Another interesting thing this week, the state of California has filed, or basically, I think it goes into effect that they passed a law. Maybe one of our California listeners, or maybe Renate, resident of California, can correct us.
Yeah.
I think it's as of January 1st, net neutrality is being reversed in the state of California. If you want to do business in the state of California, the lanes have to be open. And of course,
net neutrality was what we were trying to preserve, and that had been taken away.
Correct.
So
they're reinstalling net neutrality.
So they're reinstating net
neutrality in the state of California.
Right, because when you say reversing net neutrality,
to be clear, they're opening the channels. If you want to do business
back
here,
to normal.
Comcast, Verizon, you go down the list. Yeah, we're going back to the level playing field. And of course, what's really funny, again, especially that you have a Southerner who's the Jeff Sessions. What's his title there?
Attorney General.
Attorney General. It's he's always been one of those state rights. It's a state's rights, except with
pot,
except with the woman's choice, except with who can get married where.
Prayer in
except-
school. Wait, that's next year.
Yeah. No, we are getting to another step towards the Christian version of Sharia law. But seriously, he's flipping out and threatening to sue the state because it was approved. It's a federal law. You can't change this. Federal law supersedes state law. It's like, oh, okay, so let's go. Anyways,
Right, because there's all sorts of different state commerce laws and stuff. So they could probably have an argument that says, no, you can't have something that says, I mean,
well, and we talked about it on the podcast. The fires that they had. So the fires that they had back in like June and July.
Right.
Truly dead serious. This isn't funny even a little bit, but it's just a little funny that during the fires, the emergency team's phones communication was slowed down because they went over their bandwidth, and they had trouble communicating. And honestly, they were told, like they thought they would have problems with the phone line. They called and they were told, basically, you went over your minutes.
Wow.
We're slowing you down. We have this other plan that you can buy. And it's not like the guy can say, okay, well, here's my credit card. I need to talk to these guys. They're in the middle
We're in the middle of a fire.
It's like,
whoa, slow down, buddy. Where's the fire?
Wait, come on.
it's all around us.
What are those lights and sirens?
But that was, and unfortunately, that was the catalyst. Like you needed something awful like that for them to be able to say, this was the worst case scenario. This is what we're afraid of. And of course, the companies come back instantly. It was like, oh, that was a clerical thing, and the person shouldn't have done that. And of course, emergency systems shouldn't be privy to that, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But when you think about that, when they think, oh, well, it's just one state, no big deal. California, I think, has jumped to 7th largest economy. It was 8th. I think California itself is the 7th largest economy in the world.
Wow, in the world.
In the world. Truly,
Yeah.
they could have a seat at the G8 just like, Ivanka Trump.
Wow.
Wow, that's
7th largest economy in the world. So when they say, hey, we want these channels open,
They got some swag.
they do have
Yeah,
some swag.
totally.
So that's kind of a good thing. I mean, of course, it came out of stupid. But,
Yeah. Well, there's some hope out there on the coasts.
and speaking of Christian Sharia law,
good.
just this week, the State Department released it's as of January 1st too. They will no longer offer visas to same-sex partners of foreign diplomats. So if a diplomat happens to be from one of the 25% of the nations out there that recognize gay marriage, or as I
Right.
like to call it.
Garage.
garage.
No, I like to call it marriage.
Marriage. Yeah.
See?
Well, you can do your progressive fuck.
Yeah.
Snowflake. But seriously, they're not. Oh, okay. You life partners the last 12 years. Yeah. Well, they can't come from Bangladesh and have to stay there. So I mean, again, and here's the Secretary of State, who's a big Bible thumper himself, and just they are literally going by Christian Sharia law at this point.
Yeah. Is there?
Wow.
We do have to come up with a name for Christian Sharia law.
How about Sharia law?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
good old fashioned.
And oh yeah, and of course I already
we talked about Jeff Flake.
Jeff Flake, yeah, the guy who's like and that's the thing when they're like, oh, he really stands up, and 95%, and that's how cultish and fanatical Trump is. Unless it's 100%. 100% of the time, you're a piece of shit dead to him. But if you vote 95% of the time with him, then that's not good enough. You truly are dead. Fuck
Slacker.
you. And seriously, it's like everyone. But
he doesn't care though, because he's not. He openly said he's not running for re-election, and he went on an interview. I think what was it with ABC or PBS or something?
But
like that?
he
said like he wouldn't have called for the investigation had he been running in November.
Yeah, I'd be a coward piece of shit.
Yeah.
And again, they're flat out saying, I'm worried about me and my career. I don't care if millions upon millions upon millions of women,
do what they're told. Wait, no. It's catching. Help us.
No.
Wow.
What should we do?
I think, yeah, you know what? I think we.
You want to stretch your legs a little bit?
I would like to.
Take a little breaksy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a
Yeah.
walk around the block.
What time is it?
It's time for our defunct sponsor of the week.
pain was awful. I hurt all over. The doctor said nothing was broken. He gave me a different medicine. It's in these little yellow pills. Nuprin got rid of that pain. Know what else? It works great on my tough headaches.
Nuprin. It's not aspirin, not Tylenol. It's ibuprofen. 2 Nuprin stop headaches better than extra-strength Tylenol.
And Nuprin's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Nuprin. Little, yellow, different, better.
It even worked on my worst pain.
All right, on to sport. As we sit here and Joe's humble abode, the Boston Red Sox, the local sports team, is playing the New York Yankees. We talked about this a little bit last week, that you're a little invested into it. We know our friend Jim and Joe are, Jim and Steve are very invested into it because, like,
They have season tickets.
well, no, Steve like posted, tweeted us a picture during the Patriots game 2 weeks ago now. The game against Miami.
Right, it was like the season finale. It was like the season closer.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
And
Was
we're,
it 2 weeks ago?
we're tweeting about the we're texting about like the Patriots game, and he tweeted that he texted us that he was sending us a picture of the Red Sox. I'm like, what kind of losers watch? And Jim comes back. I'm at the Red Sox game.
Right, Jim's at the Red Sox game, but you were admonishing Steve for not watching the absolute blowout of the Miami Dolphins.
And so the Sox are playing. I've been dialed out since 2011. I will say, I really don't care how the Red Sox do. I don't.
Next topic.
But I really want the Yankees to lose.
Yes.
But I know I'm not being a smartass. I don't care how the Red Sox do. I just
I hate that the Red Sox did so well that they're the first place team and the Yankees are the wild card team. And they have
what's wrong with the Yankees?
they won over 100 games too. Like both teams won over 100 games, and so like the
Red Sox ran away with it with an 8-game lead in the American League. But yeah,
right. But seriously, and but it's the divisionals, so it's not as nail biting as they say the league championships.
But it is, and it's funny going back when the expanded baseball with the wild card. This is exactly why it was. I forget what team it was. I think it was like, San Diego and San Francisco, the team that lost by like a half a game or by a game. Mm-hmm. Had over 100 wins. Like no team had ever had 100 wins and not make the playoffs. And they're like, okay, that's how. And then there was other divisions where the team that won their division didn't win 90 games. And they're like, wait a minute, how can we possibly say, hey, you're not good enough? Yeah. So,
well, I mean, this was just the reverse. Of the 2004-2003 series where the Yankees were the AL East champions and the Red Sox were the wild card. But they weren't facing each other off until they had potentially made it to the League Series. So I don't know. Is it a 7-game or 3? 5. It's 5, right?
5.
Right. So it's 5 games and then the 7-game. Yeah.
They interesting, and I didn't realize this, but I just heard it. This is the first time they've played each other since 2004 because it seemed like they played each other
not too long ago.
In the playoffs.
Almost every year. Yeah, first time they played each other in 14 years.
In the playoffs. Yeah.
That's forever.
Yeah. It's an eternity, right?
I'm so
wow, how poorly did the Yankees do in 13 when the Red Sox won the World Series?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they made the playoffs, but were out in the first round.
Oh, right. So they weren't playing each other. Okay.
And so I do. I will never. There will never be a situation in which I'll be like, God, I hope New York pulls this one out. I can't imagine ever rooting for the Giants. The New York Football Giants, that is, or the Yankees. Like the Rangers, sure. Islanders, why not?
I love the Rangers.
The Knicks, nobody. New York doesn't root for the Knicks. No. Like nobody roots for the Knicks.
But honestly, again, for our friends, like Steve, and Jim, and my sister, and like my buddy John, like real Red Sox fans. Yeah, you want. Plus, you live here. You'd rather the team do well. But more important than the Red Sox doing well, I want Yankees to lose.
I honestly, I just remember how fanatic I was in the 2004 season, and the 2003 season.
The 2003. Both of those went to 7 games.
Yeah, and they were stunning series, and people. who worked.
Pedro throwing Simmer to the ground.
Yep. Oh, that was fantastic.
That to this day, that it shouldn't be one of my Don Simmer. I literally think he was like 72, 73, 74, 150-pound overweight. He was the first base coach of or the bench coach. I think he was the bench coach of the Yankees.
He looked like Curly Joe Besser.
And they got
from the Three Stooges.
And they got and a brawl broke out, and honestly, he comes charging at Pedro Martinez, who grabbed him by the lapel.
Skull.
Right.
No, by the head.
By the head.
And swung and literally swung him 180 and threw him to the
Wow.
ground.
It wasn't even a swing. It was more of like, I'm going to set you down, and then momentum and gravity just rolled him.
Yeah, it looked worse, but it looked awesome. You know,
Yeah.
Also, and it is my favorite Red Sox moment, one of my favorite sports moments of all time. It was in the 03 series, too, that, Vitek, the captain, Jason Varitek, got into that famous scuffle with A-Rod at the plate. And I'm going to say at least one out of every three basements, family living room, pool rooms, game rooms in this vicinity, and it's at every bar has the absolute iconic. It's right up there with Bobby Orr's picture of Vitek just shoving his catcher's glove and A-Rod's face. They're standing toe to toe. They're both like 6'4". They're both really big guys, and just full on, spinal tap, smell the glove, pushing him back. It's like, I remember I came back from LA, Dan and I had a show. It was a club in Boston, and I walked in, and there was the whole wall was that. And I walked in, the Clash was playing that mural. It was a mural of that. And I'm like, oh, I'm home.
Right.
It just felt so right. So I won't go as far as like saying I'll watch something. If it goes to game 5, maybe, but.
Well, what else are you going to be doing this weekend? I mean, the Patriots already played this week.
They did.
Yeah.
So,
They
there's
did.
really nothing else to watch sporting-wise.
so
Thank
true.
God they won, too.
Yeah, for it's been a while since Renate's in, but we'll get to those guys.
Okay.
But will you watch?
I might, Rabbit. I might. If I don't have Nessun or ESPN, so I
But
haven't-
aren't the playoffs on?
But I was going to say, I haven't been watching the regular season, but now if they're on Fox, or TBS or whatever the Fox, TNT,
That's how dialed in we
Bravo,
are.
is it on?
I think Lego picked up the logo.
Yeah.
Logo.
Is it logo?
Yeah, logo.
Or own?
Right.
Own.
OWN.
Do you have that channel?
I have OWN, yeah.
You do? You
I
watch
do.
on
Dateline. I don't watch. Yeah, I watch Dateline on it. I
Dateline
like it.
owned? Nice.
Yeah.
Look what we got. Okay, so since we've last chatted, that whole debacle of you got to get Jimmy G out of here. Oh, keep Jimmy G, trade Tom Brady, all this stuff. So, Jimmy G for the Patriots during the most injustice things in the history of sports, Tom Brady's 4-game suspension. Jimmy Garoppolo was credited with 2 wins because he started 2 wins, won 1 game, was out in the first quarter of second game because he hurt himself. Brissett came in, really won that game, won the next week, and played game 4 with a broken hand. And they thought Garoppolo was going to come back and play that game. And it was like, was he not manning up? Was he not ready to go? Was he nursing his wound too much? Anyway, so he got credit with 2 wins. He goes to San Francisco in the trade. He was still in his rookie contract or his first contract under those rules, but to be a free agent, won 4 games in a row. Now, you see all the highlights where in 4 games he threw, I think it was 6 or 7 touchdowns, but also threw 6 interceptions. But his team won all 4 games. So it's like Jimmy G, he's 6-0, never lost as a starter, gave him the money truck.
Right.
Game 2, or was it game 3? Pop, a non-contact ACL pop, and he's gone for the next 12 months.
Yeah. The non-contact part, I think, hurts the most.
It does. In sports, every time you see a football player like turn and just
zigged when he should have zagged and gets
Right.
his heel caught in the turf or
yeah.
whatever.
And so we will put to rest this year. But granted, it's an accident; it happens. But it does beg the question: and I don't want to say brittle because it's an ACL; it could happen anything. And he was being a dumbass and trying to scramble for a first down instead of living to play another day
with some razzmatazz.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's like, dude, this just fucking throw the ball away.
Right.
Little zig and zag.
Or just fall down.
Fall down, right.
Yeah.
Well, step out of bounds. If he stepped out 1 foot earlier, but
Right.
he tried to cut for anyways. So
Did he learn nothing from Brady?
Yes.
thank you. Seriously. Let's see. So
Speaking of Brady,
speaking of Brady,
Mr. 500.
Oh yeah.
yes, very so let's see. Since we last talked, I predicted they would go into the Miami game 3-0 and would lose to Miami. They went into the Miami game 1-2, and one of the few times I've been really glad to be that wrong.
Yeah.
Destroyed Miami.
Destroyed Miami. And it was one of those things. Miami had won like the last 2 games big by like 20 points, like just on a tear. And then they came in here. It's like, oh,
Yeah, all right, you're Miami. That's right. But don't worry, they'll make up for it in the second game.
They
Yeah.
always
They
do.
always
they always do.
Always do.
Hopefully it won't matter by then.
Right. I still say 10-6. You say 11-5.
I'm still sticking with 11-5
Good
because
for you.
so last game, Thursday night football again. We're going to talk about, I think, my favorite part of the game, even when it happened. And then I was so happy to see that the whole world kind of felt the same way. Brady is 14-4 against the Colts. And of course, Rasheed Caldwell drops the ball alone in the end zone. We all know where we were, January 26, 2007, when they were playing in Indianapolis, and he goes to throw the winning touchdown pass with just mere moments left to Rasheed Caldwell, who honestly dropped it. Like it was an underhand. He struck out at kickball, basically.
Wow.
is what he did. And then a few years later, I think it was in 2010, when the Patriots went for it on 4th and 2, didn't make it. Peyton Manning 2 plays later, they win. So out of the 4 losses in Brady's career, 2 of them are 2 of the hardest, most bitter losses, like in his career. They're both in the top 10, those losses. But in the past 6-7 years, they've beaten them by an average of 20 points a game.
And who's them?
Yeah.
That would be the conspiracy whistleblower. I don't know, whistles blowing setup.
We'll get around to the name of the team. Don't worry.
Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Indianapolis
okay.
Colts. And truly, they even in again at halftime of the Deflategate, it was 14-3, I think. Or 14-10. It was a game, 14-10. And in the second half, the Patriots put 28 unanswered points on the board.
Yeah.
And I forget which one of the Colts players was like, he could have been playing with a beach ball today. It wouldn't have mattered. But that's how it is. They always have killed them, even when they got Luck. Luck hasn't beaten, I don't think Luck, and the great Andrew Luck, one of the next great ones, the whole suck for luck thing, have they beaten Brady? So they come into Foxborough, and it is. I'm trying to think exactly what the score was at the time. I want to say it was 24-10. Did you see the game?
Most of it.
Did you see the Hogan interception?
Where it bounced off Hogan's hands.
Like right,
Yeah.
right through his hands.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I've said stuff like this before. I would go up and slap your child if I threw him that ball and it went through his hands like
Wow.
that. And then, so the guy picks off the ball at their own 30.
Right.
And the entire defense runs 70 yards down the field, and they all drop into like a boy band album cover pose.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy who did it
Oh, right.
did the
I did see that.
Yeah.
On the goal line.
he did the paint me like your French girls, pose. And
yeah.
but they ran 7 yards to do that. First of all, I don't like excessive celebration. I don't mind if they celebrate in the moment, but you
was
had
excessive.
8-9 guys run 70 yards to do it. They take the picture, and what went all over Twitter today is like, you're losing 24-10. Maybe this isn't the time to do the well choreographed,
So they get trounced at the end of the game, and what I did like online was that I think it was like had to have been like immediately after the game, somebody tweeted a picture of a Colts banner, and it said Tom Brady beat us, like and the score of the game and which date it was, and that was the banner.
That's funny.
For the Colts.
Well, yeah, it's we want to go that rabbit hole, but it's true. It's like, so you're losing by 2 touchdowns. You're in a building that your franchise, I think, has won 1 game in the past 15 years. I mean, so Brady is 14-4, and the 2 losses that I named were there. So at most they've won 2 games there in Brady's 18-year career, and you're losing by 2 touchdowns.
But you're going to celebrate that play.
And you're going to celebrate that, which
Can't you just give them this?
poke the bear.
Yeah, I know. What, the fact that they ran 70 yards?
I think they were celebrating that.
Oh,
It wasn't
yeah.
some- it wasn't
They're
some-
like, wow, we weren't
We
tired
made it.
after that.
There was a couple big linemen who shut down there. Okay.
I was waiting for them to plant a flag in the
They're
end
like,
zone.
that pose went well.
In my head, it's like, well, Brady is definitely one of those.
just like we rehearsed.
and obviously
That
they
was
did
awesome.
rehearse.
Yeah.
But now, granted, there was, and I'll send it to you. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. The Patriots got an interception later in the game when they were up by 3 touchdowns. And the guy who did it and one of the other guys did the Mortal Kombat finish him kick.
Right.
Oh, yeah. The one guy's just standing still, but he's kind of like swaying back and forth,
Right.
like and then he does the Karate Kid drop kick up, finish him.
Oh, yeah.
But again, at this point, you're up by 3 touchdowns.
Right.
You got Tom Brady on the bench, who now, he had Gronk, he had his wubby back. His security
Wubby,
blanket,
yeah.
his bubby, whatever you want to call Julian Edelman,
Right.
he had him back.
First play of the game was a 11-yard pass.
And just let's get
Yeah.
it. And the thing is, I had said to one of my friends, I'm like, good, because you got to get the first one. There's jitters, there's all these things, and all the pregame shows was like, he is way too hyped up. He's got to come down and play football. Jules is just too. It's like, okay, get this out of the way, catch it, get hit, get it out of the way. And my buddy's like, you knew it was going to be the first pass to him. I was like, yeah, but how did the Colts not? like they
Yeah,
should have
right?
said 4 guys covered Jules. They're not going to throw it to anybody else until he catches it. So it's true. So the Patriots win again by over 2 touchdowns.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
A wide margin.
And that's with. And I hate to say it. Yes, I'm a Brady apologist. And yes, he's made some bad decisions and thrown bad interceptions. But the 2 interceptions in the game against the Colts, one of them is Gronk catches the ball, turns, gets hit, and just basically, hey, can you hold this for me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, dude,
Right.
here's the cops. Hold this. Oh,
Here
wait.
you go.
You're not wearing the same uniform
Just
that
like
I'm
handed
wearing.
it right off.
It's
Yeah.
like seriously, here, take this Tide Pod for me.
I know. Whoops, wrong jersey.
But you figure that and then again, Jules, with the jitters, he made like 5 catches, and 2 catches were great,
A couple of big drops, though.
and a couple
Yeah.
of
like enormous drops, and Hogan too.
And then, there was one with Jules where it's like more alone than me on prom night.
Yes.
And a 30-yard pass down. And it's like, again, how did you have blown coverage? Did somebody fall down? Did somebody?
Thank God the Colts had equally abysmal catch ratios.
They really like Luck did not have a bad
and 3
game.
injuries in that first half.
They didn't dress. They didn't dress enough players for the game. They honestly they had dressed 44 guys, not 45 guys, and that's with calling 3 or 4 guys up from the practice team
Wow.
the day before. When they traveled, they had to take you got 7 guys in your practice squad. They took enough to fill out the roster, and then in the first quarter,
They got the concussion. They had.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
but even with that, it's like it would have been a blowout. Like even at their full capacity,
Oh, and then let's not overlook the first field goal attempt by the Indianapolis Colts.
Clank.
Oh yeah.
That didn't sound like clank. It was more of a
Boom.
Yeah. and that's the one guy that you cheer for here, like Adam
Right.
Vinatieri. It's tough.
well. They cheered for him
Yeah.
when he hit
When
the
he hit the
post.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
He
yeah.
just wanted to hear
Almost. Oh.
Yeah, he just wanted to hear New England fans cheer for him.
Is that what it was?
Nostalgia.
But yeah, no, it was nice. Now look, the Dolphins and the Colts are not the gauntlet that's now befallen them. It's like so the Patriots' next game is against what I think and it's the best team in our conference, and probably them and the Rams are 1-1A. Both undefeated, both great young quarterbacks, but Kansas City. So that's going to be the real. So our defense sucks. Our defense gave up. So even with second stringers in there, the Colts did put up a lot of yards. Now, granted, they had drives that stalled. And again, it's not like our defense had a big sack when they went for it on like 4th and 8. Like Luck overthrew them by 20 feet. But
I did like the protection that Brady was getting, though. Man, did he have some
Yeah,
time to
he
throw.
did.
on the Gordon touchdown,
Yeah.
he had all kinds of time to scramble. But you started sport with this. Yeah, that was his 500th catch, 500 touchdown pass,
500 regular season.
regular
yeah.
season. What else was significant about that?
It was the 71st
Right.
player that he had thrown to.
Which broke whose record?
Johnny Unitas? I don't know.
Funny.
Brett Favre?
No. Vinny Testaverde.
Wow.
Now here's the interesting thing. Like as much as Bill Belichick is focused in the moment, focused on the team, doesn't care about like anything else but this game and this opponent, and doesn't look forward to things. He does look back, and he is a historian. He truly is a historian. And Vinny Testaverde was his boy. Vinny Testaverde is who he had in Cleveland to replace Bernie Kosar, and that was replacing Bernie Kosar with Vinny Testaverde was the same as replacing
Drew
Bledsoe with Brady. How did that work out? I'm trying to think of. So 21 years later,
Wait, it worked out well.
it did work out
Yeah.
well.
How
Did
did
it?
you? What, did you not remember?
I wasn't clear on the facts.
You serious, Clark?
Yeah.
So here's the interesting thing. So Testaverde had a 21-year career.
Yep.
One of those gunslinger guys. I think he played for like 6 without having to look it up. At least 5 or 6 different teams. You know, my dad could never hold a job.
He wasn't was he an 83 quarterback? No.
He
was later than he's not. He's younger than Marino, right?
He is. No, he's more well, let's see. I think his last year was like 05, 06.
So he came in like
back one.
Well, like late 80s.
Like 86, 87.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he bounced around to a lot of teams. Look, it's impressive that he held the record for 70 different receivers. I mean, that's a lot. But
Yeah.
it's not when you play on one team and you got 1 or 2 new weapons each year and 2 cycle out, 2 cycle in, 3 cycle out. But so he went to all these different teams. When he came to New England, that was one of the things where the Patriots were up by 2 or 3 touchdowns, and they let Vinny play the last quarter. So and every play was a passing one because he was tied.
Oh, wow.
Tied, and I forget who he was tied with. It might have been Unitas for most different receivers, and they really forced. It was the last game of the season, and also, I mean, but Belichick also did the same thing for Doug Flutie, letting him drop kick an extra point.
Wow.
Don't you remember? Do you remember
No,
that?
I don't remember
Okay,
that at all.
nobody in football had done it in like 40 years, and he wanted to, because in his career, Doug Flutie has kicked a field goal, kicked an extra point, ran for a touchdown,
Oh, yeah.
threw a touchdown, obviously, and caught a touchdown pass, and they wanted to give him.
A drop.
Like the only other way you could score is a safety, I think.
Right.
And that wasn't going to happen.
Or for the other team or something.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, you could
running
do
the
that.
wrong way. So they did. They let him drop kick
Wow.
an extra point
I didn't
in
know
his
you could
last
do
game.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody. Well,
Well, yeah.
see,
I thought that was
honestly, and I'm not kidding when I say this. At least a third. I can unequivocally say a third.
You can unequivocally say unequivocally. That was crazy.
You like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Good night, everyone.
Unequivocally.
To half of the quote unquote cheating that the Patriots do,
Yeah.
it's either in the rule book or
What? Oh, there's nothing in the rule book that says an elephant can't pitch?
like, and that's no. What's funny? It's like we talked about this before. Pop Warner himself, the guy Pop Warner, he was an innovator, and he was a guy who would do things like in the huddle. Put the ball in a guy's shirt,
Right.
So no one knew who had the ball in the guy.
Oh, man.
Well, there was nothing in the rules. It said you couldn't.
You can't do that.
And so the next year they would change that. Belichick is the king of. Well, there's nothing in the rule books that says we can't do this, so we're going to do it.
Right, and then the rest of the league just sort of follows suit.
But at the same time,
How many drop kicks by a quarterback for extra points have there been since then?
Right.
none. You
Yeah.
know, but and it's completely legal. But why would you do that?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
he would just want to do it for nostalgia's sake. No, it's funny because.
Funny.
And while we're talking about this, the playoffs, 3 years ago, when the Patriots were down twice they were down by 14 points in the second half to the Ravens, and they came back and won the game. And they were doing this crazy stuff with swapping players in and out and lining up players, like lining up Gronk as a lineman, but he was reporting as a wide receiver, but he would line up as a lineman and then come out of the formation so the people didn't know, the linebackers
What?
weren't even
Yeah.
covering
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
And Harbaugh, their coach, ran onto the field in the middle of a play and took a 15-yard unsportsmanlike and threw down a headset. It was screaming, that they're cheating. And the ref's like, no, they're reporting in. This is legal.
Yeah.
Like 4 other teams in the league had done that this season, but the Patriots took it to the next level. Like every other play, they were doing that. So the Ravens didn't know who was eligible, who was ineligible. And it's announced on the PA, but unless you're really focusing... Yeah, guess who ran the same play this past weekend? And again, it went around all social media. It's like, well, after that game, and Brady famously said, well, you should read the rule book. And then Harbaugh, and, the rest was history. I guess he read the rule book and said, oh, well, I guess, it's been 2 years. I guess we did the exact same play where they lined up their tight end as guard. And then, anyways.
And it says here that the cornerback
Yeah.
gets a whole
And I'm sure our friend Flo is home saying, oh, they lined the tight end up as a guard? Well, that's an unusual thing. So we will move off of that and get a...
Sports is boring.
It is a little boring. NHL
Sorta.
season started. The Bruins started with a bang.
Which is what, like a 3-0 loss, 4-0 loss?
7-0.
7-0.
7-0.
Hey-oh.
Yeah.
7-0.
I was counting just the first period. Sorry.
And of course, my guy, Brad Marchand, one of the guys, after they score a goal and it's like 6-0 at this point, basically, goes by the Bruins bench and blew him a kiss. And Brad, went over and, well, we're not sure if he's going to get suspended or not, but beat himself. But then the Bruins turn around the next day. And what is the best thing for an NHL team to do after they lose 7-0 to the defending Stanley Cup champ? Go play Buffalo, where they won 4-0. So, welcome back to the NBA, to the NHL.
That's a good safety tip or a quick pick-me-up.
Yeah.
Play Buffalo whenever you're feeling down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Call the league, see if you can move things around.
No matter what sport you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Amen. All right, so we are done with that. So now we will move on to, I think it's Renate's favorite part of the podcast.
Renate I don't think she knew. You didn't know that we had a podcast until just now, right?
No, I knew you had a podcast.
Oh,
She just didn't
Yeah.
listen or care.
I just didn't listen often.
You knew
know.
of the podcast.
Yeah, I knew. I've actually heard the podcast.
Ooh.
On purpose.
I have. I've
Okay.
actually turned it on. Yes.
Hey,
Enough said.
Tuned in.
Okay, so right now, you, Renate,
Oh, gee.
are going to go to that wall.
No, you're going to do it because I will not force a woman to do a man's job.
I think it's fun. I think it's the highlight
She's
of
our
my
guest.
week. All right.
You're my slave.
Well,
you're my
Yeah,
bitch boy.
yeah.
Get over there and give me a fucking game.
Bitch, boy.
Yeah, get it.
You're a bitch boy.
And you gone too far.
Now go and get me a Nintendo game. So he's gonna.
that's good.
He's gonna go get me a Nintendo or some game. I don't know. This is
Any
the time.
game.
It's the random video game review of the week. So he's pulling a Nintendo game
Wow.
off the shelf, and now
Why does it look like a book?
it is a book.
Oh, okay.
So so he's holding a book.
Oh,
that
with the
re-
Nintendo game behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And in the
Got
book,
it.
and the book has like a review of every Nintendo game
Oh,
ever made.
okay.
So what I do now is I'm trying to guess based on the hole in the collection. I'm going to try to guess which game he pulled off.
Which game is missing?
Yeah, and then hopefully I played it and I talk about it for 10 seconds.
Awesome.
What is that? What? Oh God, we got a soundtrack going on.
Oh no, I was trying to look it up on the web, the interweb. Launched.
Way to silence your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, shut it. Go ahead.
It's the button over there.
Lucky guess.
It's not Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's not Wayne. It's not. I can't quite see so good. Is it?
You gotta have some stellar eyesight to see that.
Yeah, I think
far.
I think it's a Wheel of Fortune game. Is it a Wheel of Fortune game?
It is a Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
See, look, by the space in the wall, Renate,
Wow.
we can guess which game.
I
it
have
was.
3 Wheel of Fortune games.
Oh
and
my
2 of them
God,
are up
that's
there.
so small over there.
I know, but I have them committed to memory. So
You have them in alphabetical order. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what it is. Yeah,
Which one is it?
it's the one with Vanna White, starring
wow.
Vanna White.
Oh,
Yeah.
featuring.
Oh, I'm
Featuring-
sorry.
Featuring.
That is so old, that game.
I know.
That's
Yeah,
the whole
this is
point.
actually I think the newest one of them all in the Nintendo, like when it comes to Nintendo games. Anyways, it's a Wheel of Fortune game for Nintendo. It says featuring Vanna White. Has Vanna White on the cover. She looks stunning. I actually saw her in person.
You did?
I was on Wheel of Fortune.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I like to brag.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Were you good at guessing all those?
I was. I actually went to the
Wow.
bonus round and won. Yay.
Awesome.
And now-
All this came from.
All exactly. Like, this is-
Wow,
all the money's
cool.
gone.
Oh, man.
You know, I put it all on.
It's all because you bought all these video games.
I called Vegas and I said put it all on black, and no.
Let it ride.
Exactly. So it's a fun. I don't know. It's a Wheel of Fortune game. They've made so many Wheel of Fortune games now. There's a Wheel of Fortune / Jeopardy game for PlayStation. Like they've stopped selling them separately, and now it's just like that hour-long game show block that you'll watch on TV every night. Yeah, now it's just one game.
Have you played this?
I think so. Yeah. If you want to waste time and really have a sense of no accomplishment whatsoever, play a Wheel of Fortune
Kind
game.
of fun, actually.
I do like playing Wheel of Fortune. I get super competitive, which is why I don't play any board games with my family.
Oh.
Is that I'm like way too into it. Like you saw me when we went to the drive-in a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing a phone game called Heads Up.
Oh, yeah. I love that game. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just playing with his kids.
Yeah, so it's a lot like the $25,000 pyramid where you have to kind of guess. And I'm like all in. Like I'm like rearranging my chair so that I'm proportionately sitting away
Silencing the audience?
Yes,
Wow,
right.
yeah.
I was ruling like on what was an appropriate clue and what wasn't. I'm an asshole. And nobody loves me.
It was fun. It was really,
It was so much fun. Why haven't we done it since?
Is that why your kids don't want to play with you?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
that's on the list.
That and the hitting. I really should not have done that.
But you don't bruise as much as you used to.
Darn.
Right. Well, now they've learned
Yeah.
to hit back. That's what I was referring to. Them hitting me.
Yeah.
Not me hitting
yeah,
them.
sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When I got here, his 2 sons were arguing over who loves you more.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember.
No, you love him more. No, you love him more.
See what he did there was the old switcheroo
Yeah.
reverso. So now, I'm not going to guess the price. It's probably 10 cents.
No,
No,
What
no,
do
no.
you think the price is?
Please.
No,
Oh,
what it's worth now?
yeah, like
What
if
do
you
you think if you went to the interwebs?
wait.
If
you
I went to the
interwebs, what do you think you're
Yeah,
paying?
right now. what
The
do you
Wheel
think?
of Fortune?
Yeah.
The
I would
feature
say
Vanna White, not the family edition.
$3.
Yeah.
No, not bad. You were close without going over it.
Oh,
so that-
hey.
What was it?
$3.99.
Nice.
There you
Now,
go.
I would have guessed at least 20.
All right.
So now I'm going to read a review.
Vanna didn't make
Am
the
I really
cut.
reading a
Yeah,
review?
just read the top line.
This is from the Ultimate NES Guide by Pat Country, who does a thing. In this solid adaptation of the famous television game show, which he gave 3.5 stars to, 3 contestants take turns spinning a carnival wheel with different dollar amounts to see where it lands. He's explaining Wheel of Fortune to America. A dollar amount lost, turn, free spin, yada, yada, yada. It's fun.
What do you think is more useless? Somebody explaining the rules of Wheel of Fortune or another Batman adaptation where they have to explain his parents were shot in Crime Alley?
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, they're both up there. You playing any games this week?
What am I playing? No, I mean, I took a break from Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4.
Did you take your break or did your son take you back?
No, they're busy doing other things. What am I? Yeah, I haven't. I've been kind of busy this week. I don't know. I've been busy and then like watching, stupid things on TV. I don't know. It's been. I honestly, this last week for me has been a blur, like more of a blur than normal.
Oh, there were 2 pack games.
Yep, that's true.
Inside 5 days.
Right.
And those are all encompassing.
And then I was drunk in between them both, so that makes it.
Yeah.
That explains it. Now, what have you been watching?
Truly, Arkham Origins.
The back of his controller.
Seriously.
Yeah. So when did you get here, Renate?
I got here Tuesday morning.
Okay. What have you seen on the TV when I've been in the living room other than the Pats game on Thursday?
Batman.
Okay.
The game. And you defeating all of the criminals.
Yeah, I'm a boss.
Yeah, totally.
Or the one movie that we watched last night was Under the Red Hood again. Like Grayson.
Wait, I didn't watch that movie. When did you guys watch it?
When you were out gallivanting with the management.
Oh, I can't believe you didn't wait for me.
It's
It's crazy.
A,
yeah.
it's on Apple TV. We still have it.
That's
2,
true.
I will go home and watch it again right now gladly.
Oh, wait, we did stop and watch some Batman cartoons.
Right. That's about it. So
Yeah.
What I watched this week now, with my not so random video game review, we talked before about how it wasn't a fan favorite, Arkham Origins.
It was a stopgap between Arkham Knight and Arkham City.
Correct. And a lot of people didn't like it. It wasn't done by Rocksteady. And I like the game. I will say, I don't, I even though I beat the game, but that was, a few years back, I remember most of it, but I didn't want to go to the interweb for spoilers or how to find X, Y, and C and figure a few things out. Maybe I should have, because you can't 100% the game if you complete it and go back, and there's certain challenges that I did not know. Oh, I'm stuck on this, and I'm like, I did the whole thing. I've cleared this. I've cleared that. Why isn't it doing
100%.
this? And it's one of those. It was a little. Some of the complaints was it's glitchy as hell. I mean, it glitches out. Games glitch out. Your system glitch out. These glitch out. It happens. This happens more than any game I've ever played. So that was one big complaint. One of the other complaints that people had was, hey, if you don't know that in the sub menu, and it's a list of like 10 ways you have to take people out in predator mode, you have to clear this room without using this, or this gadget, or you have to clear it with, and
Like really specific challenge.
really specific. But in the other 3 games, you can go back and get them all. You can beat the game. You can beat the game on New Game Plus, but you can still go back in
And fill in the blanks.
Undo those.
and you can always go back to like the courthouse, and there's always 20 people outside, so you can do the take 20 people down only using your left hand while speaking Mandarin challenge. The inflection is a little bit, but seriously. So now I'm conflicted. It's like, am I really going to restart a game that's taken me the last 3 weeks?
So you have to do it in game before
before you beat the game. And again, so I beat the game. It's only at like 30-some%. So then I beat the game
30-something%?
Yeah. Then I beat the game at New Game Plus.
Wow.
And again, this is all side missions. I was like, okay, I'll get the 300 fucking Riddler things. And then it's only like 70. I'm like, oh God, do I have to go through those challenge things? Go through all the challenge things, and then it's like stalled out.
99.
And so that's when I like break down. Then I stopped crying, and then I broke down and I looked at the guide online and like, oh, you have to do these Predator challenges. I'm like, okay, fine. I look, and I could do one, but then you get to one of them, and it's like, oh, you need to do this and this, and then you read all.
You hit him with your index finger, not your middle finger, right? Actually, you reminded me of what I was doing last week. In addition to doing nothing, you somehow came across a PlayStation 3 that
I don't recall this.
Okay,
Wait.
I found a PlayStation 3.
Let me look at my calendar from 1982.
Yeah.
with Squee. No, I stumbled upon a PlayStation. I had 2 broken PlayStation 3s. One I bought on Craigslist
And one
years
broken
ago.
heart.
Yeah, right,
Wow.
and then
Yeah.
one I bought at GameStop, which literally died the day after the warranty had expired.
Oh my God.
So
I hate that.
Wait a second. Jacques got a thing.
Wait, he's got a thing.
No.
No.
I figured this out.
That was my
Say it
wife
one more
screaming
time.
about. I bought a PlayStation 3 from GameStop that literally died the day after the warranty expired.
No.
I want to die.
No.
Gosh, you're
All right,
bad
hold
at
on,
that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wait.
That's
Oh,
it. That's
Jesus
what it is.
Christ.
Yeah.
Do we have to color it yellow or something?
Yeah, maybe. Racist.
So what? Anyway, so I stumbled upon a third PlayStation 3 that I was able to. It was the hard drive was corrupt, but I was able to swap it out, fix it. And,
Oh, that's
Must have been Republican.
you see what
Da-da-da.
that was real laughter. Anyway, I decided to break open Arkham Asylum
Wow.
for PlayStation 3, which I hadn't. I played it on the Xbox 360, but I hadn't played it for the PlayStation 3, and I'd forgotten like how I'd forgotten the storyline. I'd forgotten a lot of stuff, but it was amazing how quickly I went back into like the muscle memory of playing,
Yeah.
and remembering like, the
right.
Riddler trophy's here and then this and that. So I started playing that again. I didn't beat the game. I'm sorry, I'm not as good as you. I only played it for 2 hours instead of 2.5.
You need to, did you get to the part where it glitches out?
No, I did not.
You didn't. Okay.
Oh wait! Oh right. Oh, with Scarecrow.
Right.
Yeah.
How great's that?
Yeah. It's great.
And I remember like the first time I did it, I'm like freaking
You thought
out.
there was something wrong?
The game does. The game, it's built in. It looks like it glitches out and starts
Right.
the game all over again.
Oh no! Wait, I didn't get to that part. This is Arkham
Oh.
or Arkham Asylum.
No,
Okay.
it's in there. It's
All right.
it's in Arkham.
It's not, so is there a second battle with Scarecrow? Because the first battle is the one where you're like you're getting gassed, and then you have to like climb up this like really winding.
No, I'm thinking of completely different games. So don't let this be a spoiler to anything at all. And what's interesting is at the end of the regular game of Arkham Origin, that's right where Arkham Asylum picks up.
Oh wow!
Oh.
Okay,
You
it's like
know?
Rogue One.
It is like Rogue One.
Wow.
So there's
Can we
not
talk about Rogue One for a couple hours?
Yeah, we've talked about Batman Arkham City or Arkham games.
So that's all I've watched. Have you watched anything?
Not really. I mean, nothing of note, just like stuff on TV. Renate, have you watched like
What have you been binge watching?
or what do you like to watch on Netflix?
Well,
If you do.
I do watch Netflix. I was watching basically the series with Jason Bateman.
Oh, Ozark.
Yes.
I
love him.
I love the first season. I haven't watched the second season.
See,
yet.
I started watching the second season, so
wow.
I like that. And
Yeah.
then there's a couple other series on there I've watched. I can't remember the names, but I haven't seen like the, anything else really exciting on there.
I've been meaning to watch Ozark,
But
like,
that one is really good.
yeah, it's funny because like I sort of. I've talked about this, but I get to that Netflix anxiety. Like, I don't know what to watch.
Yeah.
Just too much.
Yeah.
There's so many choices, and then when you watch something, you're like, "What series is that?"
Yeah, or if I start something like it's so late in the evening, I fall asleep, and it's just like
You just trigger something. When you used to go to the Terminator ride at Universal,
Oh yeah,
the pre-movie and the show with the person, and they're talking about how great Skynet is, and there's an old lady who's looking at a giant TV, and it's almost like Back to the Future, in the future where there's like 30 screens and and she's looking at the control panel. It's like, you can't figure out what to watch. There's a Skynet, with an algorithm knows the perfect show for you. And it's this old lady, and then it cuts to Murder, She Wrote going
oh
on.
my god,
And she sits down with her cup of tea.
Wow.
And it makes, when you were like, I look at the menu and
I wish Netflix was more like Skynet in that respect. We're
Yeah.
just like, fuck you, kid. Here's
Joe,
what
you'll
you're gonna
like
watch.
this.
Yeah, just watch Full House.
right?
here's a documentary on Larry Fine's second cousin who once auditioned for.
Yeah. Maybe I've been listening to podcasts lately. I think that's what I've been doing. I've been catching up on Gilbert Gottfried podcasts. I don't know. Who cares anymore? I think we're done here, right? Or do we want to get to a parenting tip of the week?
You got one?
Me? I ain't a parenting tipper.
Parenting tips.
So, Renetsky, who truly, before we moved back here, has spent more time with the boys than anybody in our world. Like if the last year in L.A. we went through the gates of Universal or Disney 40 times, she was with us 35 of those times. So she knows the boys really well. So she's seen my parenting in action
Yeah.
as much as you. So this week, we had a sad closing of the pool. And it's sad for so many reasons. Well, that's $3,000, you know,
Yeah.
and we only had it for about 4 months. We'll call that Exhibit A, Your Honor. 2, it's like I loved sitting in the living room, looking out the backyard and just seeing the woods and the pool. It's like, you know, I'd rather this be our little hovel on the beach in Playa del Rey, and get, you know, and all that stuff. But you know what? Shut the fuck up. This is not, you know, if this is your worst case scenario, you little snowflake,
Right.
you're ahead of the game. So, but I like looking, and now it's just this brown covering it. My parenting tip of the week is twofold. 1, make your kids come and help close the pool. It's a responsibility. You know, you want to use it. This is what we do to take care of it. And I've had them help take care of it all summer. And now closing. The other big parenting tip, and Renate was right there, you know, you're not going to get to use this pool for at least 6 to 7 months. So this is your last chance.
To jump in the pool.
And when you get back out, because it's a little too cold, I'm going to push you in. So I'm just, you know, don't be afraid. My parenting tip is don't be afraid to help your children maximize opportunities,
By pushing them in the pool.
such as your last chance to go swimming in a pool.
Okay.
And that's it.
Wow.
I'm done.
Wow. That's awesome.
Renate, have you enjoyed your, is this the first podcast you've been on?
Yes, I would say this is my first podcast. Yep.
Has it turned you off of all podcasts in the future?
No, I think I'm possibly willing to hear other podcasts. Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe
from
even
other
turn
people.
yours on, Jacques.
You're right. I would
You can
say.
turn the world on with your smile.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Make him
Good.
see
I see
blood
what
rot. Well, it's you, girl, and
You should know it.
With each glance and every little movement, you show it. Love is all around you. Need to fake it. You can take a chance, well, don't you make it. You're gonna make it after all. You're gonna make it after all.
As he throws his headphones in the air.
Well, seriously, it's always nice to have people come and I don't know.
Sing the Mary Tyler.
Yeah,
The more
exactly.
somebody else talks, the less I talk. So it's really enjoyable for everybody.
Thank you, Renate, for coming. I think my microphone still
Sure.
works. after
Thanks
my-
for inviting me.
You didn't have a choice. Get in
That's
the car. We're
true.
going to jiu-jitsu and
I
then
know.
going to
He's
do a
so
podcast.
bossy, I'm telling you. It's like, God.
Hey,
He hasn't changed one bit.
It's that or sit on the couch watching what is it, HGH with
Oh,
management's
God, I
Mom the next
hate
3
HGH
hours, so.
TV. Let me just tell you that. I am not an HGH.
HGTV?
No,
think-
I don't like that.
I think I sent you a
so
song for the
boring
ending
to me.
song. When
Yes.
it sits around
Yeah,
you.
it's on the thing.
Trying with the thing with the place with the
lady.
let's see if I
Wait,
can
hold on.
remember.
All right, I'll
no,
pull it
no,
up.
I'm
I know.
trying to think if I can remember what I said.
What did you send? What did Jacques send? us?
Anything from the Dan Craig catalog is just going to be gold. I think I said you
Clowns?
clowns. Clowns is a very old song, and those words are coming out of my mouth. I'm like, yeah, most of our songs are very old, but that's a 91 song. Yeah, and it's about like, you know, the spring breakers of 91, and just remember like fluorescent baseball hats were like a thing for a while, and like the big jock idiots were like wearing them, and anyways,
Right, that's like MTV Spring Break.
But I will tell you, this is a song that when I came back and Dan and I started jamming, you know, a few months ago, I got through the first 30, maybe 32 seconds before my 4. I was like, you can't play this fast anymore, you dumbass. And it's taken me a lot of time. And now that we've been jamming on a regular basis, I think I can get up to maybe 46, 47 seconds.
Wow.
But I'm still a year
Yeah.
away from being able to play this fast. Anyway, thank you again, Renate. Thank you, as you, Joe. This Clowns by the great Dan Cray and the other guys beyond in. Yeah, I think this is a John Hunt, Rod Murphy, Patrick Murphy, RPM, and me.
Congratulations.
That I can remember.
Yes.
Any last thoughts?
Yeah. Don't forget.
Much too bored to critic.